Dr. Zithara had seen many impossible things during her tenure as Chief Medical Officer aboard the interspecies research vessel Harmony of Stars. She had treated crystalline entities whose wounds could shatter entire limbs, tended to gaseous beings whose injuries involved literal atmospheric displacement, and even performed surgery on a quantum consciousness that existed in 17 dimensions simultaneously. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared her for humans. The alarm began as a routine medical alert. Engineer, third-class Sarah Chen, had been conducting routine maintenance on the ship's quantum drive when a plasma coupling decided to vent superheated gas directly into her work area. The automated systems registered a medical emergency, and Dr. Zithara's four-armed surgical team rushed to the engineering deck, expecting to find organic matter in various states of dissolution. Instead, they found Chen sitting on a tool crate, examining her left forearm with the casual interest one might show a mildly interesting insect. "Oh, hey, Doc," Chen said, looking up as the medical team burst through the containment doors wearing full hazmat gear. "Thanks for coming, but honestly, it's just a scratch. I was going to stop by the medbay after I finished this coupling repair." Dr. Zithara's bioluminescent medical scanner nearly overloaded as it processed the readings from Chen's arm. According to her instruments, the human had sustained third-degree thermal burns across 40% of her forearm. Plasma exposure that should have caused immediate cellular breakdown. Radiation levels that would prove fatal to most known species within minutes. Atmospheric pressure damage that should have resulted in explosive decompression of internal fluids. Yet Chen sat there, rotating her arm to get a better look at the damage, apparently unaware that she should have been dead 3 times over. Just a scratch. Dr. Zithara's translator struggled with the concept. "Engineer Chen, my instruments indicate you've been exposed to temperatures exceeding 3000 degrees Kelvin. This level of thermal damage would vaporize most organic compounds." Chen glanced at her arm again, where angry red flesh was already beginning to blister. "Yeah, it stings a bit. Good thing I was wearing my work gloves, or it might have been serious." She held up her other hand, showing gloves that had been completely incinerated, leaving only her bare fingers, which, according to the medical scanner, should have been reduced to carbon ash. Dr. Zithara's emergency protocols kicked in automatically. Within minutes, the medical bay was flooded with specialist xenobiologists, trauma surgeons, and theoretical biologists from 6 different species. The ship's captain, a pragmatic Vorthan named Krixtal, arrived to find his medical deck in controlled chaos. "Report," Captain Krixtal demanded, his 3 eyes cycling through different visual spectrums as he assessed the situation. "Sir," Dr. Zithara replied, her voice carrying the flat tone of someone whose understanding of biology had just been fundamentally challenged. "The human has sustained injuries that should have resulted in immediate termination of biological functions. She is not only conscious and mobile, but she's requesting permission to return to duty." "I've got 17 more couplings to replace," Chen added helpfully from the examination table, where a team of crystalline healers was studying her with instruments that looked more like archaeological equipment than medical devices. "If we don't get them done today, we'll be dropping out of hyperspace every few hours." Dr. Kelvar, the ship's senior xenobiologist, approached with readouts that made his tentacles curl in distress. "Captain, I've run the genetic analysis 3 times. This human cellular structure shows damage consistent with direct stellar corona exposure, yet her autonomic functions remain stable. More disturbing, her cells appear to be regenerating at an accelerated rate." "How accelerated?" the captain asked. "At current rates, she'll achieve full tissue restoration within 72 hours. Without medical intervention." The assembled medical team exchanged glances across multiple visual spectrums. Dr. Zithara pulled up comparative data on her holographic display, showing injury response times across known galactic species. For comparison, she announced to the gathered medical staff, a similar injury would require the following recovery times: more than 14 months with cybernetic replacement, crystalline regeneration impossible, permanent structural damage, gaseous beings immediate dispersal into base elements, mechanical entities complete chassis replacement required. And humans? Captain Crickstal asked, though he was beginning to suspect he didn't want to know the answer. 72 hours, Dr. Zithara repeated, with no medical intervention. She's refusing pain medication because, and I quote, "I've had worse sunburns." Chen waved from the examination table. "Could I get some water though? I'm a bit dehydrated. And maybe a bandage? This is starting to drip on your nice clean floor." Dr. Yithmal, a renowned trauma specialist from the Nexus Medical Collective, activated his emergency communication array. "I'm declaring a code Omega Medical Alert. We need xenobiology teams from every major medical facility in this sector." "Is that really necessary?" Captain Crickstal asked. "Captain," Dr. Yithmal replied, his mechanical voice crackling with what might have been disbelief. "This human just survived an exposure event that would sterilize most habitable worlds. If their entire species possesses this level of resistance to environmental damage, it changes everything we know about biological limitations." Over the next 6 hours, the harmony of stars became the center of an unprecedented galactic medical conference. Specialists arrived via quantum teleportation from across the galaxy, each bringing increasingly sophisticated equipment to study the impossible biological anomaly sitting calmly in their medical bay. Chen, meanwhile, had convinced Dr. Zithara to let her work on a tablet while the tests continued. She was reviewing engineering manuals and occasionally asking if anyone had a snack, since medical emergencies always make me hungry. "The implications are staggering," announced Dr. Vexhura from the Galactic Medical Institute via holographic link. "If humans can survive this level of environmental hostility as a baseline biological function, it suggests their homeworld must be catastrophically dangerous by galactic standards." "Define catastrophically dangerous," Captain Crickstal requested. Dr. Vexhura's image flickered as she consulted off-screen data. "Preliminary analysis suggests Earth experiences regular environmental conditions that would classify it as a Class X II hazard world. Solar radiation levels that require protection, atmospheric pressure that would crush most species, gravitational forces that would compact organic matter, and temperature variations that span the habitability range of most known life forms. And they evolved there naturally?" Dr. Zithara asked. "Worse," Dr. Vexhura replied. "They thrived there. Their mythology contains references to something called extreme sports recreational activities that involve deliberately exposing themselves to potentially fatal environmental conditions for entertainment purposes." The medical bay fell silent, except for the gentle hum of scanning equipment and Chen's occasional requests for maybe a sandwich and some coffee. Finally, Dr. Yithmal powered down his scanners and addressed the assembled team. "Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary entities, I believe we've witnessed something unprecedented in galactic medical history. We have discovered a species that has weaponized biological resilience itself." Chen looked up from her tablet. "Are you guys done? Because I really do need to finish those plasma couplings before we hit the next jump point. And this bandage is perfect, much better than the duct tape I usually use." Captain Crickstal stared at her for a long moment. "Engineer Chen, in the interest of ship safety, I'm assigning you a permanent medical escort for all engineering duties. Is that really necessary?" Chen asked. "After today," Captain Crickstal replied, "I'm not sure what's necessary anymore. The medics are updating your species classification from primitive bipeds to ambulatory disaster-resistant anomalies." "Cool," Chen said. hopping down from the examination table and flexing her bandaged arm. Does that come with a pay raise? In the official medical logs of the Harmony of Stars, the incident was recorded as the day the galaxy learned that some species don't just survive in hostile environments, they consider them relaxing vacation destinations. And in a small note at the bottom of the report, Dr. Zithara added, "Recommend immediate review of all previous human injury classifications." What we've been treating as serious medical emergencies may actually be what they consider minor inconveniences. The galaxy suddenly felt a lot less safe and a lot more impressed.